I can't. How are we still here in 2025 and home buyers still have major remorse, regret about buying their homes? I thought we were past this. Clearly, we are not. So let's discuss this today. We're going to talk about a couple of videos I found out on TikTok. I'm sure you're seeing them as well. And then I also found 2 surveys that were done talking about first-time home buyers and their regrets with buying their homes. So yeah, like I said, I can't. So let's get into it, shall we? I've done so many videos about home buyers' remorse and regrets and all the things. And I would hope by now in 2025, this would have gotten better. And clearly it has not. No. So what's going on, guys? What's happening? I don't understand why we're still here. And I'm not here to criticize people. I'm not to shame anybody or anything like that. I just trying to understand what's going on. So like, take a look at this guy's situation. What happened to him after he closed on his house?
So you want to buy a house in 2025. Let me give you some knowledge. Number one, whatever anybody says, it's always the right time to buy if the price is right. But sometimes when the price is right, there's stuff that comes along with it. I closed on this house last Friday. On Saturday, the entire HVAC unit went out. We thought that it was just the fan motor, had that replaced, and they came back after it did not work, and the entire thing has to be replaced. That would be $10,000 right there that you're looking at. And this goes out for inspectors. Pay for an inspection, but be wary who you pay to do your inspection, because some inspectors are not as thorough as they should be. And as long as the thermostat turns on and there's heat coming out of the vents, all is well. Check. But if you have a good inspector that would actually go through your unit and make sure that it's not just slapped together to pass inspection, you might not be in the same situation as me.
Okay, so during the pandemic, we had people waiving inspections altogether. And then once they closed on the house, they ran into a slew of problems and spending thousands of dollars making repairs. Here, this guy hired an inspector, but clearly he wasn't that great. Just want to put a little note in here that sometimes inspectors cannot check the HVAC system depending on the climate. If you're in the Northeast and Northern states, and it's colder temperatures, they really don't want to turn on the air conditioning units for fear that it's going to put stress on the system and possibly cause some damage. So I had to put that little disclaimer out there that that's probably why they won't turn it on if it's in colder weather. Typically when it's above 60 degrees, they'll turn it on and to make sure it's working. But the point here is that he didn't hire the best inspector. Now, my recommendation would have been, okay, yeah, go by who your real estate agent's recommending. Like I always recommend 3 inspectors. It also helps to dig deeper and go talk to friends, coworkers, family members who recently bought a home and had their home inspected. Go by their recommendations. Who did they use? As long as you're happy with them. I would go to that extent to get like personal referrals from people. It's a shame that this happened to this guy. He didn't hire the right inspector. Kudos to him. He did the inspection, but didn't hire the right one. And now he's in the hole for $10,000 to replace that HVAC unit. Yeah, it's a big regret. I can understand why he has some remorse there.
Thank you for calling Zillow. How can I help you?
Yes, how you doing? I'm looking into purchasing a 3-bedroom house.
Alrighty, what's your budget?
$300,000.
Okay. It's funny, but it's not funny. This is a reality now. I mean, affording a home it's such a huge challenge, and I'm praying that this is going to get a little bit better for everybody as we're seeing prices soften in a lot of the markets in this country. But this TikTok really hit home. This guy is a realtor in New Jersey, where I'm from, so I get this. I totally get this. But the reason I bring this video up is because I want to talk about how people are overextending themselves, and then they're stuck over their heads financially, and they're feeling trapped. So let's dive into those surveys that I mentioned in the beginning. Let's get into the first one, done by Realtor.com. So this article done by Realtor.com is saying first-time home buyers say this is their biggest regret after closing on a home. Can you guess what the biggest regret is? First-time home buyers say their biggest regret after buying a home is not getting better information about the total cost of home ownership. We're still having this problem. Oh my gosh. Okay, for young borrowers, it's a lot higher than what they expected. They just did not expect all the things that are involved in owning a home. It's insurance, it's maintenance, it's everything else that comes along with it. Most homeowners are well versed in calculating monthly mortgage payments using the size of the loan and the expected interest rate to budget for payments. But some first time buyers in particular are caught off guard by the hidden costs of owning a home. Now, it goes on to say that the hidden cost of owning and maintaining a single family home in the U.S. now average more than $18,000 a year. And this is according to bankrate.com. This is a 26% gain from 4 years earlier, an increase driven by soaring home values, inflation for maintenance costs, and rising insurance premiums. Guys, this is the problem. You're told that your mortgage payment is the same for the life of the loan. That's only principal and interest. Taxes and insurance are always going to increase. And I don't understand, why are people not being told about this? They're walking in thinking everything's hunky-dory. My mortgage payment is going to be, say, $2,000 a month, only to find out the following year the property taxes went up, the insurance went up. Now you're pushing upwards towards $2,500 a month. Perfect example for myself. We bought our house 13 years ago. Our mortgage payment was $2,900 a month. We're paying upwards of $3,500 a month now. We're pushing up towards $1,000 increase. I mean, it's over 13 years, but still, it's gone up. Now, in a lot of cases, your property taxes are more than likely going to increase because why? Towns are reassessing the newer values. Values have shot up. They're going in, reassessing, and your property taxes are going to increase. Now, in some states, there are caps, like here in New Jersey and New York, there's a 2% cap on property taxes. Okay, so there's that. But you have to budget for this. I couldn't believe it. When I read this, I'm like, we're still here. We're still talking about, people are shocked that their mortgage payments increase after a year because they have this in their head that this monthly payment is going to be the same for the life of the loan. You don't have to worry about it. No, that's not the case. I want to move on to the next survey that was done by Clever Real Estate. Clever Real Estate puts these surveys out every year, and their numbers are shocking. They're just shocking. Their survey showed that new data released by Clever Real Estate reveals that 3/4 of first-time home buyers, 73%, regret their home purchase. This figure overshadows the 65% of all home buyers who express similar sentiments, according to the report. The findings indicate that financial concerns are at the forefront of these regrets. Approximately 1 in 5 buyers, 20%, expressed remorse over securing high interest rates, while 13% wish they had not overspent on their homes. Now, look at these numbers. Oh my gosh. A significant portion of first-time buyers, 51%, report feeling financially overwhelmed. This compares to 25% of repeat buyers who feel similarly burdened. Overall, 30% of recent home buyers feel financially in over their heads. The report also highlights that many buyers made compromises during their home search. About 82% of home buyers reported making concessions, with 61% indicating that a strong foundation was not a crucial factor, and 63% stating that the same about a new roof. This may contribute to the 28% of buyers who experienced second thoughts after their offers were expected. It just gets better from here, guys. The financial strain continues post-purchase for many. Nearly 1 in 4 recent buyers, 23%, stated their finances have worsened since buying a home, outweighing the 19% who reported an improvement. While 62% of buyers emphasized the importance of finding an affordable home and 21% received price reductions, 38% still exceeded their initial budget and 37% believe they overpaid. Furthermore, 38% of buyers, including 43% first-timers, accepted higher interest rates than preferred to secure a mortgage. Why? Why are we doing that? The sacrifices even extend into their daily life. 40% of recent homeowners are making major lifestyle changes to manage their expenses, and 21% are taking on additional debt. Even so, 16% have struggled to make timely mortgage payments. 16% have struggled to make monthly mortgage payments. I hope that number does not increase. Okay. You know me, I can't hold back. I'm going to tell you how it is. So number 1, shop out your mortgage rates. Why was there such a high percentage of people just accepting the higher mortgage rates? Shop out the rates. Don't commit to your bank. If I understand if you have a relationship with your bank, you want to work with them, they may not have the best mortgage rate. Shop it out. Talk to multiple lenders. I was just on a call the other day with a new buyer, and they said they were talking to multiple lenders to compare rates. This is what we should all be doing. And another very important thing is that if the lender tells you you are approved to purchase, say, a $500,000 home, doesn't mean you go and you buy the $500,000 home. Stay under that number. And I saw this a lot during the pandemic when the interest rates were super low. People were approved for, astronomical amounts of money. They could afford, like, say, up to $1 million when technically they really shouldn't have been doing that, because why? All right, yeah, okay, the interest rate was low, lower monthly payment, but what's happening? The cost to maintain those larger homes, those more extravagant homes, is eating them alive. They're struggling to afford it. It's not worth it. Stay under the amount that you're approved for. Don't be overextending yourself. Trust me on this one, because you are going to have major remorse, major regrets. Talk to a lender, align yourself with a lender that's going to properly guide you through this. Ask the question, how much should I account for when the property taxes and homeowners insurance increase? Try to find out statistically what's the average amount that the payment increases. You need to account for that. Don't just go by the principal and interest number. It's not going to stay the same. That'll stay the same, but the taxes and insurance are going to go up. Got to remember that, guys. I wanted to share this TikTok by this gal named Pricey Dat Mammy. Gives phenomenal advice. So I wanted to share this with you, and I want to give you my input as well.
Buying a home in 2025, I would not be moving out here like I'm blind. I would not be walking in and saying, oh, this kitchen is so cute. Oh, this looks really nice. I'm buying strategy. I'm buying return on investment. I'm not buying cute. I'm buying freedom, and I'm buying leverage.
Such great advice. I love her already. I love her. Let's hear what else she has to say.
Because buying a home is just not about where you sleep. It's about how you move. It's about what doors is open for you in the future. So let me break this down in full. First thing I look at is my budget, but not just based on what I want to pay. It needs to be something I can actually afford, especially with the current interest rates. Because I don't care how much I love a house, if that monthly payment got me nervous every first of the month, and I didn't just buy a home, I bought stress. So I'd run the numbers like this. What's the current interest rate? 7%? Okay, cool. How much is the home? $400K? Okay, cool. What does that break down monthly with insurance, taxes, and HOA fees, if any? Does that fit into my lifestyle with ease, or do I have to pick between living and surviving? Because home ownership is not supposed to feel like a prison. It's supposed to feel like peace. Next, let's talk about future value. I'm going to be looking at the area, not just how it looks today, but what's coming to it. What's going to be built in the next 2 years that'll help my property value go up? Are developers breaking ground nearby? Is a Starbucks being built around the corner? Are the schools improving? Is the crime rate dropping? These are indicators. They're not decorations. Because you could buy a house in a quiet little spot, but if you play it right, 2 years, that same quiet zip code can turn into a cash cow. But if you ain't got nobody teaching you how to spot that, you'll just miss it over and over and over again.
Okay. She hits it right there. Like I just said before, go with what's in your budget. Do not overextend yourselves. And then she talks about what's that payment going to be with the homeowners insurance, taxes, and HOA, if applicable. Now, again, these numbers are going to increase. You got to take that into account. Just wanted to add that. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry, but just want to hammer this point home.
I'd also make sure the home has options. I'm talking 3 beds minimum, resale and rental flexibility, 2 baths minimum for convenience and future value. Flex room or bonus space, jackpot. That's an office, a guest room, short-term rental, gym, creative space, even passive income if you're smart. Now let's be real for a second. Everybody wants turnkey and move-in ready homes. But the real play is the homes that have a vision. I'm not talking about a gut job, but maybe some paint updated flooring, no, just a few cosmetic updates. Because if you can buy low, fix light, and watch that value rise, you just made 40 to 100K in equity without lifting a hammer.
She's so right. These are other things we should all be looking at when we're looking at a home, okay? Exactly what she's saying here. Look around the surrounding area. What's going on in the town? Are they making changes? Are they improving the infrastructure? Are they bringing new businesses coming to the town? Are you seeing things happen, transforming, like building a new Starbucks, building a new restaurant, whatever? These are key things we need to be looking at. So this is super important. Now, here's a little story I want to share with you. Now, I knew some people years ago. They bought in this brand new community, which was located near this downtown area. That wasn't the best area, but there was plans for revitalization. They're supposed to turn this downtown area around, just make it vibrant, bring in new businesses, new restaurants. That was the plan. So these people bought in this community thinking that this is a good investment, because they're going to be revitalizing the downtown, and all this great stuff was going to happen. Well, P.S. what happened? Politics got in the way, and it prevented that revitalization from happening. Now, we all learned a lesson from this. When I watched them go through this, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So did their values increase? Absolutely not. They ended up going down. They did. The reason they went down is because, unfortunately, they bought during the peak, right before the financial crisis. A lot of people went into foreclosure many years later, and that's what brought the values down in that community. It's very unfortunate, but they ended up selling. They did make some money, not as much as they thought they would, but it all worked out. The point to this is, if you see that there's something planned, that's great. Don't trust that plan is always going to go through. I would be looking at to see if things are currently happening. Are they building a restaurant? Are they changing the roads as you speak, as you're looking at this? Are these things in process at the moment? That tells you right there that things are underway to make improvements to that area. So you should be in good shape. Like you're coming into into an up and coming community. Those are the signs you need to look for. Don't trust what's in the plan. That doesn't always work out. I'm just saying. Just a little piece of advice there for you. Excellent points she brings here too. When you are looking at a home, you want to make sure, like say you want to have the 3 bedrooms. Pretty much every family needs a minimum of 3 bedrooms. If it has, say, an unfinished basement, you can convert that into a living space or another office or a rec room. And she also goes on here to say about, if there's a bonus room, awesome. The other thing you want to look at, does it have the capability to be added on, right? Can you put an addition on to add more living space to the home? This is going to help increase the value of the home. So you got to think futures. You got to have a vision and think about what other things can we do to increase the value on this when we go to sell it. Always think about resale. I tell this to my clients too. The location of the home is key. You hear me stress this a lot when people say, oh, I don't care if the highway's in my backyard. You know what? The next buyers are going to care, and they're not going to want to buy it. You're not going to make as much money, okay, because of your location. Another story I want to share with you. I just took a buyer out the other day. It's the second time looking at the house. The price has been reduced, sitting on the market over 50 days. Price has dropped $100,000, still not moving. Why? It's because of that location. And I need my buyer to understand this. Okay, if you want to buy this house, that's wonderful. Keep in mind, you're going to have the same issue when you go to sell it down the road. Now, mind you, the house is way overpriced, and they just finally dropped their price. I still think it's overpriced, but that's me. I digress. But the location, I really feel it's hurting this house. And if he goes to sell that down the road, he's going to run into that same issue. So these are the things you need to be looking at, and a great real estate agent is going to help point these things out to you. So speaking of aligning yourself with a good real estate agent, if you need a referral for a real estate agent in your market, you can scan the QR code here on the screen, or you can click the link down below, fill out the forms, and I will get back to you with an agent in your market. Little disclaimer, this service is free to you. I do get paid a referral fee from the agent once that sale closes. But again, this is no cost to you. It does not cost you a thing. This is a free service that I offer. Also, if you live in Northern New Jersey and you need assistance with either selling your home, or if you're looking to buy a home in Northern New Jersey, you would like to work with myself and our team, click that same link, scan that same QR code. Please indicate where you're located in Northern New Jersey, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you about your real estate needs. So homebuyer remorse is definitely worse than it was a few years ago. And we got to do better with this. We have to do better. Align yourself with the right people that's going to help you make the right educated decisions on the home that you buy. So super important. And do not overextend yourselves. Please trust me when I tell you, do not go looking at homes at the maximum price that your pre-approval says. Just don't do that. Don't do that. You want to be able to live in that house with peace, not stress. Okay, let's just hope that this all gets better, because I can't anymore with this. Thank you so much for watching me today to get your dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.